Okay, so you remember last episode when I mentioned that we did Grease Lightning and Girl Scouts?
I watched the movie only seeing John Travolta and Kaneki in Girl Scout troop uniforms.
With little tag-along cookies
Yeah.
floating all over.
Samoas flying in the background, tag-alongs. Continue.
Okay, so this movie was a fan pick from one of my best friends, Christine.
We love you.
And what do you know? Christine was in my Girl Scout troop. So she and I were talking, and I was like, oh my God, I love your pick. That's so awesome. And then she goes, do you remember when we danced to that song in Girl Scouts? And I was like, yeah, what was that for? We used to go to this Girl Scout camp that was like in the woods for a 4-day weekend.
Blair Witch style?
Well, there were cabins.
Okay, thank God.
But they were pretty rustic. And there was a talent show, and that's where we performed in the talent show. And she goes, and do you remember that Annie, who was another girl in our group, she goes, Annie's mom had to turn the volume down every time the song said the chicks will cream their pants. Or it'll make the chicks cream or something. So she would just stand at the song and lower it because it was all little Girl Scouts and then higher it again.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was with Mom's choreography, which was a total of 4 dance moves, I believe. Maybe 5, not sure.
Wow. Wait, did you win the talent show?
I don't think there were winners because it was one of those.
We all win.
Winners.
We all win. We all win. Man, star MVP Annie's mom, right? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I hope you all picture the Girl Scouts when you watch Grease Lightning now.
Wow. Wow.
Sisters, sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters, sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello there.
Hello.
Get your motor running. Grease lightning.
Go
Grease lightning.
I want to be Kaneki in that scene and just shake, move as fast as possible because every song number, I'm pretty sure that's all he did. He was just like moving at 100 miles an hour in place. It was crazy.
And what's our movie, Kate?
Our movie is Grease. We're really jumping in today, people.
Hey.
Our movie's Grease. Let me introduce who we are.
Let's do it.
If you're new, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where 2 sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And we'll always be together.
And then we fly into the clouds with the car?
I wrote that they flew to space because I'm just assuming that every movie has a Men in Black tie-in. So I just assumed they were returning to their home planets.
I have a really great conspiracy theory.
I love it.
But it's not mine.
You know I love those.
It's not mine. It's the internet's. And I kind of thought that you were going to find this.
Well, I've heard of one that was like they were all dead or maybe they died or something and they were going to heaven.
Sandy was dead because she drowned when they would hang out in the beach in the beginning. And then the entire movie is her in a coma. And then the end of the movie when they like fly into heaven, she actually is like dead flying into heaven. And obviously that's not true, but that's like a real theory.
That's a very choreographed coma. I wonder if other people experience that. My. I thought it was just they were all dead.
Well, one of the lines from Danny is, she almost drowned, I had to save her. And they were saying like, oh, he like exaggerates. So she really did drown. I was like, oh. Then I went down a rabbit hole of like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait, I won't talk too much on this, but I went down a rabbit hole that a lot of dark happened around this movie.
Oh, to the actors and crew?
To the actors, to the crew.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of some dark stuff.
That's like poltergeisty. Tell me
It's
more. Tell me more. I really want to know. Like, well, was there a ghost?
Then I told her about the stupid shit. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I know as you bring up scenes, I'll remember more. But off the top of my head, there is, first of all, John Travolta had a somewhat recent ex-girlfriend that passed away while
Oh
he
my
was
God.
making the movie, and it was really bad. He had a lot of issues trying to like get through this movie because
Wow.
this close person in his life died. I don't know if you know all about Kenickie.
Well, I know he was on celebrity drug rehab.
Do you know why his drug addiction started?
Oh, Jesus, was it because of Greece?
Yes.
Kanicki, no, just join the Girl Scouts!
So-
No, just get a box of Thin Mints.
So the song Grease Lightning, originally Kenickie was supposed to sing it. Danny or John Travolta was like, no, it should be me. And he kind of was the star of the time. So he took the song. Okay, so then there was this weird kind of riff. I wouldn't say this is exactly tied to it, but I think that's important. In one of the dances where they're all lifting each other up and moving around, they drop Kenickie.
Oh my God.
And like really messed up his back. That started him taking painkillers. And it like his back never really healed, and then he got addicted to painkillers, and then he eventually died of it.
Oh my God, he's dead?
He's dead.
When did he die?
2011.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So
Okay, let me take a sip.
Take a sip, because like, sorry. So you know the character Cha-Cha?
Cha-Cha Dijagorio.
Cha-Cha Dizagorio.
I'm the best dancer at St. Bernadette's with the worst reputation. There's so many good lines in this movie.
So many. So when they race the two cars, right?
Yeah.
So remember how she was like doing the kind of flags or whatever?
Yeah, please don't tell me she got run over in a take.
She did not get run over, but literally at that moment, she had an ectopic pregnancy.
Oh my, whoa. Oh, that's like life-threatening.
People could potentially die from it, yeah, but she didn't. But they rushed her to the hospital, and where they were in LA shooting that, there was like toxic fumes from the water. So everybody got like sick from that scene.
Oh my God.
Kate, I can keep going. Should I keep going?
Okay, well, you know what?
Or is this too dark? Should we take it back?
No. I love all of this, but why don't we have you give a quick synopsis?
That's not
and
dark.
then maybe we can go through, and I'm sure all of these other things will come up.
Okay, let's see if I can do it.
Go, Bridget, give us a synopsis. Go, Bridget, do the synopsis. Okay,
so we start out with a bunch of 30-year-olds in high school.
And 40-year-olds, in my opinion. But yes.
It's set in the 50s. We have two main characters. Danny Zuko, John Travolta. What a dreamy heartthrob, am I right?
I mean, that butt chin, or whatever you call that, I don't
that
know.
Butt chin. Then we have Sandy, Olivia Newton-John, who is, the girl next door. She has moved to this town from Australia.
Best place in the world. Sandy, why would you ever leave? What's wrong with you?
So random to move from Australia, but okay. So then they meet in the summer. They have a little love affair. He thinks she moves back to Australia. She thinks she'll never see him again, but she stays. They end up going to the same high school. However, it is not like the beach, and he's got to act cool. So he sees her. He can't handle it because his friends see him all like sappy. So he's got to be kind of like tough and an idiot in front of his friends, and that kind of pushes her away. And then just push and pull the whole movie. And at the same time, they got the Pink Ladies, which is like the cool girl group. They got the T-Birds, which is the cool guy group. And they're all kind of dating each other, and they're all friends, and they're all just trying to figure out high school as 30-year-olds playing high schoolers.
Must be very hard to do, yes.
And because it's like set in the 50s, there's a little bit more explicit elements. There's a lot of stuff in here. The whole time, though, we get wonderful songs. Super catchy, super fun. The high school just happens to get a national TV bandstand competition, and there's car chases. And if you like anything in 50s Motown culture, this is a kick-ass movie for that.
Oh yeah.
And then we talked about it a little bit, but at the end, Sandy goes to heaven from her coma, and Danny Zuko somehow is okay flying too.
Well, they're all aliens, so I don't know. That's my theory.
And then there's 17 other their Grease remakes. But I think I read until Beauty and the Beast, which is a newer, the latest Beauty and the Beast, which I feel like is not something
The
to
live
compare.
action one?
Yeah, it's like not really something to compare, but this is the highest grossing movie musical of all time, I think, until I read Beauty and the Beast, which I was like, well, whatever.
I'm surprised like Chicago didn't get that.
Yeah. Nope.
That's so interesting.
So,
well, I mean,
I know I skipped a lot, but I also don't know how to
I
get into a lot.
That's like the gist of it.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the movie is just a bunch of little things and good lines and good music. And the story is literally what you said. And then everything else is just kind of like padding.
Oh, so, all right. One fun fact. And then I also want to tell you what I learned about why people think this is a cult classic. So the fun fact in the beginning, the opening credits, you know how it's a cartoon?
I love that.
And you're like, what?
And I'm like, woo! Yeah.
So somebody originally wanted to make the entire movie a cartoon.
Okay, well, I'm actually glad they didn't, because it's one of those things where you're like, this is so fun, but then they do those creepy still shots of the character faces, and they all look so terrifying. And this is my line. I go, oh my God, Rizzo.
Rizzo!
No. She looked so bad in that picture. Who drew her like that? It was so rude.
Okay, everyone, hopefully you had this moment. You're 12 years old. You're at Six Flags. The caricature
Definitely
asks
Six
you to
Flags.
do a picture. You say yes. You're completely insecure, and they literally exaggerate your worst features. You see it, you cry, and run to the bathroom. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. We're all Rizzo in that moment.
I mean, Danny looked really scary. Kaneki looked scary. Sandy looked okay, but
Rizzo's was the worst. It was like they
So
literally,
bad.
it's like somebody didn't like her that was drawn.
Yeah, that's what I was. It was like an ex-boyfriend or something. They're like, I'm gonna fucking draw you with a bunch of wrinkles because you're a 4-year-old. Yep, it was really creepy. I like that opening though, because it's the one time you get a song where nobody is singing. It's just background song, you know?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So this came out 1978, and it was about the 50s. It's for like
Right.
teens, whatever.
Yeah.
People said that they loved the idea in the 70s that they could see their parents from the perfect 50s talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and essentially giving them the permission to be rebellious too. And I never thought of that until I read it, and I thought that was interesting.
I feel like I would never think of it like that.
But think of the 50s, like your parents from the 50s, everything's perfect, right? And then all of a sudden, actually, it's really like mom and dad. They're that generation of when this came out, where they're looking at their like 50s parents being, that's the crazy stuff you used to do. And they're all like, yeah, we wore poodle skirts, but little did you know, we were smoking packs a day and chugging wine at sleepovers.
Making out on the cliff and then getting yelled at by scorpion people. I know, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so wait. In the beginning with the beach scenes. Okay, I don't know if you noticed this.
Are you going to say how Danny throws sand at Sandy and I hate it?
No.
I don't give a it's her name. Don't do that ever to no one. Leave the sand on the sand. Thank you. That's my PSA.
At our Neptune Inn motel that we create from Please Watch the Goofy Movie or listen to it and then you'll understand what that's about, we would never allow sand to be thrown. But he goes to kiss her. Did you notice the kiss?
Oh, wait, let me remember. Is it like he grabs her shoulders?
No, he like
Was that
literally smushed his face onto her face. And the only way I can describe it is somebody that like doesn't move their lips and they're like doesn't want to be kissed, and then someone's just like smushing their lips against you. If you rewatch it, it literally looks like he was like, don't open your mouth, pretend you hate it, and he just smushed his face left and right on her. Literally, I was like, Danny smushes his face to Sandy pretending it's a kiss. That was my line.
Well, doesn't she stop him where she's like, don't ruin the moment? I'm like, true.
So weird.
Yeah.
Also, I'm wondering when to introduce this to you, but I have every character's exact age at the time they filmed
Jesus
it.
Christmas.
Do you want to know that, or we should just not do that because they're all old?
Well, let's see. Because they all get introduced, what, like the next scene, right? It's like you see all the guys and it's the first day of school. And what, all of these guys who are best friends, like, didn't hang out all summer? They're like, Kaneki, our best friend. Where have you been for the last 2 months? Whatever. And then he's like, I was working. I'm like, wait, what? Didn't you guys all live in the same town? I'm confused. Like, what's
Kate,
happening?
I don't know. It's like the 50s.
And then Danny's like, I was at the beach, like down the road. And they're all like, where were you, Danny? I'm like, what's happening? This is confusing.
They're like all neighbors and they like never saw each other.
Yeah, they just don't talk until school. It's weird. You guys have matching jackets, so figure it out.
Yeah, that's messed up. How do you, if you have matching jackets, you have to talk in the summer.
All year. That's like an all year friendship.
Have a meetup.
Not just a school friendship.
Yeah, you have jackets.
Well, the girls weren't like that though, because the girls, I got the impression they were like all got along pretty well.
Yeah.
I felt like the girls had more distinct personalities from
Yes.
each other, whereas like the three guys, I was like, okay, you all kind of meshed.
No,
together.
yeah, they really did. They all were like, I was like, oh my god,
Like, on
what's
speed,
what's
I know.
happening?
The one, I think his name is Sonny, he straight up like looked like a 40-year-old. So now I need to know his age.
Okay, he was the second oldest, 31.
Oh, Sonny.
Who do you think was the oldest out of all of them?
I know it was Rizzo, because
Okay.
that's like the one fact I know.
Oh,
But how old was she?
33.
Oh, so that's...
Okay, in your movie trivia game that you're creating as part of this podcast,
One day it'll come out. Yep.
I thought of a question for you. What is Rizzo's first name? Go.
Okay, wait, but Bridge, I'm gonna call this right now.
What?
Whatever timestamp this is
What
in
is
our
it?
episode, I'm calling it right now. Dad is going to ask us this question.
Oh.
When I go to him later, he is
you're
literally
so
going to
right.
ask this question. I know the answer because of him.
And what is it?
Betty.
You got it.
I know.
Wait, when I was a kid, and of course Dad introduced this movie, like Dad introduced most movies.
Yep.
He would tell me, and now that I've seen this movie, I'm like, Father, he'd be like, you want to be like Sandy, okay? Because she's like boring. You want to be like Rizzo. Rizzo's cool.
Thanks, Dad.
I think the message was maybe lost, Dad, because basically you want me to like sleep with a bunch of people and...
I don't know. I like Rizzo.
But like, I just remember as a kid, like Dad is obsessed with Rizzo.
Okay, well, he wants to be in this movie.
He
so,
really does.
Like, he might have a T-Birds jacket.
He definitely has a T-Birds jacket.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
sorry. So, okay, we're in school, and I'll tell you, I looked up the whole, like, why are they called the T-Birds, and why are they called the Pink Ladies?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
T-Bird stands for a famous car at that time, the Thunderbird. Pink Ladies was a really vague reference about this girl gang in Chicago, because the musical was based off of people from Chicago, and so they were, like, referencing it.
Oh.
But it just wasn't as well known, and I was like, meh, it's kind of weird.
Well, Rizzo had a pink car, which was really cool. I don't know if you saw that, but like, Rizzo, why don't we talk about your car more? That's really cool.
I totally agree. And if anything, her car was cooler than the guys' cars.
Yeah, definitely. I know. What a hunk of junk.
Direct quote from Sandy. It says, Tin Wagon!
No, she says Sin Wagon.
Oh, is it Sin?
It's a Sin Wagon. Because he's being gross. I mean, it could also be a tin wagon, but I'm pretty sure it's Sin.
Oh, I thought it was Tin.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get together like, hey, hi, and then the first song. This is when we like basically elevate. Okay, Grease, 1978 appropriate. Maybe even 2000 appropriate. 2010, 2020 plus. It feels rapey.
Well, yeah. The guy version, like the guy lines are. Also, right before they sing that song, the one guy, which I think is Putsy, because they all have names that are basically insults that like you say to someone where you're like, you're a Putsy, and like...
Putsy's his name.
Wait, is it Putsy, Sonny, and what was the other guy? Was it Duty?
Duty.
That's a terrible nickname. That's like equivalent to Poopy. I hate that. But Putsy is straight up looking up girl skirts. He's laying in the bleachers and he's like looking up skirts, and then he gets caught. And I was like, hello. That's gross. Stop that. And then they're like, time for a song. I'm like, what the? This is too much.
But like one of the lyrics in the song, which I didn't like put two and two together until now, was, did she put up a fight? And you're like,
know.
Wait, oh, this is awkward. And then, okay, I might be reading into this, but did you notice his hand moves when he said they went bowling?
Was it boob twisting?
Okay, there was boob twisting as one of the
dances.
dances.
There was a lot of like those gestures, and I was was like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's weird. But this might be a little X-rated, listeners. But he like,
well, we'll bleep things out.
He puts his like fingers up, and he's like, "Yeah, go back and watch it." I wasn't sure if I'm like reading too far into that, but
now I'm trying to remember what a bowling ball. What do you do with a ball? No, this is a bowling ball.
Yeah, but he only had this. Yeah, so gross.
Wow, pretty gross.
But what I also noticed now, and I didn't as a kid, was, let's say on Sandy's side, the Pink Ladies are kind of the original Mean Girls.
Definitely. Oh yeah, Rizzo is Regina George.
Rizzo,
but like from the
Rizzo
50s.
is Regina George exists due to Rizzo. But the whole like they push Sandy off a bench and
she falls into a garbage can.
Yeah, she falls into a garbage can, and then they like that other girl that's like the cheesy vice president girl,
Patty Simcox. She needs to take a nap.
Patty Simcox.
Where does the energy come from? She comes over to them and she's like, "Oh my God, guys, aren't you so excited? It's like the first day of school." And she literally talks for like 5 minutes straight. And then Rizzo goes, "It's the biggest thrill of my life." She says it just like that's so funny.
Wait, I didn't tell you these fun facts. This is kind of random, but there was supposed to be different characters for Sandy and Danny. Do you know who they are?
No.
Danny, that role was originally given to Henry Winkler.
Ooh.
For the Fonz.
Oh, and from Scream, the creepy principal.
Creepy principal with the weird scissor noises. Go back to that episode to find out about that.
People don't forget.
We don't forget he should be fired. His
God.
Scream principal role. And then Sandy was supposed to go to Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher, you precious angel.
Go back to Sister Act. Go back to Sister Act. So Henry Winkler definitively said, "I don't want it typecast." Carrie Fisher, it was like they were going back and forth, and then they weren't sure if she could sing. And so Olivia Newton-John kind of like pulled away with it. But can you imagine this movie with those two?
No.
Like, wait, they have a love affair? Stop. John Travolta is the person for this movie.
I love John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. I just think they have good chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
And they both sing really well. They've got good range.
They really do.
There was dancing, but it was like, it's different than the type of dancing we see now from like performers,
Yeah.
you know?
So, okay, this is what's funny to me. The dancing was PG, but their words and actions were like super X-rated.
I don't know. Some of their dancing was like just humping.
Yeah, I guess like the...
I saw a lot of lady underwear in that dance. And I was
God.
like, guys, like no shorts under there? Come on.
But, okay, then we get to Sandy, Danny. Oh, snap. Sandy doesn't know Danny's here. I thought the Pink Ladies were kind of mean that they didn't tell Sandy that Danny goes to school.
I know. I'm surprised Frenchie didn't.
I thought Frenchie was a nice one, but who knows?
Frenchie, use your words.
She's gotta stop focusing on dyeing her hair and focus on her friends.
Okay, so we're at the pep rally, because now there's a pep rally. Somehow within like one day, Sandy became a cheerleader. Very impressive
Yes.
speed. These are not like the Bring It On cheerleaders. These are like, they do like one cartwheel.
It was bad.
And like Sandy like does it really badly.
That was the worst cartwheel ever.
Yo, that was a scary pep rally though, because did you see what was burning?
Yeah, that was like a person, right?
There was like a fake body being hung with a noose, and then it was on fire. I was like, okay, this is pretty terrifying. I hate everything about that.
Yeah, super
don't
dark.
hurt me, everyone. I support the team.
And then the gym teacher / football coach / only representative for all sports, right?
Yeah, he was also the baseball and the wrestling and the track coach and the gym teacher. Yep.
He was like, "Team, we want to come back and ring that victory bell." And I got the impression that they like never ever win, but they never like hammered that home. Is that what you thought?
No, the principal did say, she goes, "We're gonna see if we can change our 7-year like losing streak or something." So she makes like a comment about it. But yeah, it was funny how they like mentioned the bell, and then they literally show us the bell as if it's this like big important thing. No, we don't see that ever again. We don't even go to a football game. Nothing.
Yeah, I was like,
nothing at all.
Okay. And then I also also thought it was funny that in the 50s, jocks are not cool, okay?
That was funny.
And like anti-sports guys are cool, which is very opposite to now, right? The football captain is like the cool guy in the school. And by the way, the guy that like adds a lot of grease to his hair and has a comb every 5 seconds is not the cool guy in the American high school ideal, but not in Greece. That's for sure. You need a pack of cigarettes and a comb and grease.
Yeah. And like some sort of jacket.
Oh my God.
I know. They called the football player. They were like, they see the football players running and they were like, look, it's dingleberries on parade. I was like, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Rude, but I would giggle.
This is so random too, but one of the things I noticed was how thin the eyebrows were on everybody.
Whose eyebrows?
Oh, did you see Sandy's eyebrows? I bet you didn't, because they were as small as Whoopi's.
Well, I don't, but she had eyebrows, right? Like, it's not like I imagined them like I did with Whoopi.
She did, but it's just like seeing the difference of what is like 50s to now in terms of like style and all these sorts of things. Yeah, look up Sandy's eyebrows. They're tiny. Because when she is seeing Danny and then they both lose it, which actually was like a really good acting scene by John Travolta.
Yeah, because he was really good at being a jerk. And like on the turn of a dime,
yes,
a jerk.
But equally being like, Sandy, girl! Like he was equally like just as excited. I don't know why. That's what I really noticed her eyebrows and I was like, oh, look at that.
Well, they probably went up very high, so I can understand that. That's where he goes, we just be rocking and rolling. And you're like, who talks like that? Stop that. Goodness. And then Frenchie makes a whole speech about how men are amoebas on fleas on rats. And that they suck, basically. And you're like, good one, French.
That was what was so funny about the Pink Ladies is like, you went to their sleepover and they were like smoking cigarettes, drinking booze, and they couldn't care less about guys except for like Marty, who has got 50 pen pals all around the world.
I know. That's like before typing. I'm like, does your wrist hurt?
Oh, 100%.
Because, ow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then they're like, let's pierce your ears. Let's dye your hair. I'm like, this feels like the funnest sleepover ever. Jan is doing a musical debut of her Brusha, Brusha, Brusha. And then all of a sudden there's like a choreographed dance. I wish I was at that sleepover.
The ear piercing was a little peer pressure because Frenchie's like, let me pierce your ears. And then Sadie's like, I don't know. And then literally she's saying, I don't know, Frenchie like has a pin and she's like sticking it in her ear. I was like, Jesus, Christmas.
It's kind of the Grease theme. It's like, oh, you don't want to do it? Here you go.
Here we do it, doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I have a dark fact about that scene. So you know how they talk about Elvis in the song? It's like, Elvis, Elvis, Elvis. The reason that they like call that out is because Elvis was actually supposed to play the guardian angel and it ended up being that other guy. I can't think of his name. The day that they sang that song, added in the Elvis bit because Elvis was supposed to be in it and wasn't, is the exact day he died.
Oh, that's so freaky.
And the rest of the cast like looked at each other and were like, what the...
Oh my God, this movie might be like poltergeisty. This is creepy.
But like, it's all these things that aren't really like so obviously connected, so you have to kind of like do your homework to see if it's dark.
You have to go down the internet rabbit hole like Bridget did.
You don't, because you have us, and we gift that to you.
Never mind. And then what? Rizzo's like, oh, all these guys knew we were all going to be here, and they loudly roll up and like are being loud, obnoxious, so I'm gonna go leave. Goodbye.
She Spider-Man exits the house from the second floor.
Does. She really does.
How did she not break her leg?
I don't know. She made it. And then it's like Danny leaves because he like gets mad at Rizzo or something. And then you see her and Kaneki in the car. And then the three guys are in the car and Kaneki like literally is driving and like drives out the driveway and he goes to drive. But then he stops and then she's like, you guys need to leave. I'm like, wait, but you're already leaving?
No, do you know her exact line?
Oh,
because it was gross.
It wasn't a pro.
Should I
like
say
what
it?
Was it gangbang?
Yeah.
You think it's a gangbang?
It's
yeah.
Like, Rizzo.
I mean, listen, she says it like it is. I mean, it's inappropriate as it is. So, wait. wait.
So here's my thing. She says it like it is, but she like always pushes the sexual jokes like to the next level. And you're like, we get it. We get it. Because even when Danny leaves, she's like, what, do you gotta go flog your log? I was like,
oh,
what?
yeah. I know. I'm like, that's a weird rhyme.
What's happening?
Hate that. Yeah, that's true. And then he says like something like, oh, bite the weenie. And she goes, with relish. I'm like, I like relish on hot dogs, and now I am questioning my decisions, and I hate that. So
this entire movie is like sexual innuendos through weird analogies.
I want someone to like just teach a sex ed class where they just show this movie and they're like pause after every like 2 seconds. They're like, okay, let's have a conversation about what the F we just saw.
So we were at the drive-in, Danny singing, and a cartoon hot dog jumps into a bun. What do we think that means? Anyone? Anyone?
Does that really happen?
Yes!
I didn't even notice that. That's so
You
funny.
didn't see the cartoon hot dog jump into the bun?
No.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. That's
It's
so
ridiculous.
funny. Yeah, it's just all throughout. And then Sandy sings a sad song that like, ugh, you could just skip. I don't know. I'm not crazy about that one.
So what's funny about that song is it wasn't in the original musical. When this movie came out, that song got nominated for like all these awards. Didn't win, but I don't know. People were obsessed with it.
She sings it well, but like it's just like, I don't know, it's not like fun.
Let's think about their relationship. Okay, everyone knows this couple. They like break up, get back together, break up, get back together. And she's like, that Daddy's a jerk. And then she's like, I'm hopelessly devoted to you. And she's like, oh, get out of here. I'm hopelessly. And you're like, Sandy, pick a lane.
They sang a song about summer lovin'. Like, is that really a relationship, everybody? Here we go, back in sex ed class. Boys and girls, if it's a summer lovin' and you don't know them and you never see them, did you really date or were you just having a good time?
Okay, so you know when Kaneki and Rizzo are making out in the car and
they get harassed by the scorpion guy who thinks he's a police officer? Yeah, boy do I. That really grinds my gears. I hate it.
I'm so confused. They didn't do anything to that guy and he was like,
no,
I'm gonna just ram your car. I was like, okay, we get it. You're the bad guy. Like, very obvious.
I know. I was like, how did you even, like, 1, find them? 2, know they were in there. Like, 3, like, how do you convince your date, like, this is what we're doing now tonight? Like, so many questions.
He's got, like, flashlights. The date's like, can't you find a spot? And he's like, not this one, not this one. He's like, Kaneki.
Honestly, that's what it felt like.
And then, like, Batmobile drives away with fire coming out of his car.
You want to talk Batman references? Did you see Kaneki's lighter? Because it was like a blowtorch, like the Joker, and it made me laugh out loud.
Yes,
it was so
amazing.
big. I was like, that's gonna hurt you.
Okay, wait.
Keep that away from hair.
Wait, there was a point I wanted to tell you about their makeout scene. After all that, Rizzo is putting powder on her hickeys from Kaneki's.
Yes, it's like a Hallmark card.
Yes. Well, the way those hickeys were actually made was actually
don't say a leech.
No, it was from Jeff Conway, aka Kaneki, sucking on her neck.
We didn't have makeup.
No, it was a real hickey.
Was it like a consensual one, or is there more darkness behind the scenes going on?
I think that's dark enough. If someone's like, we really want this to be method, so we're gonna let this guy suck in your neck, I'd be like,
that's gross.
Isn't that gross?
Yeah.
But I don't know, 70s. I don't know.
Well, that ain't like a Hallmark card, I'll tell you that. Jeez, I'm not sending that to Grandma. Come on.
Gross.
It's ridiculous.
This is kind of random, but what did you think of, like, out of all of the pink ladies, did you think of any of them differently? Like, seeing it now versus when you were a kid?
I don't know what you're asking.
Well, I guess I have all these notes about Jan and how I didn't like her as, like, a kid. I thought she was so annoying and just kind of like
Jan's
whatever.
Cool.
No, but now I'm like, I don't think I gave Jan enough credit.
Jan's the funny one.
She's the only one that acts like a high schooler.
Yeah.
She rolls up with Oreos.
When they go to the dance, she goes, "Did you bring the provisions?" And he has the candy bars. I was like, yes, that's the way to do it. Sneak in the chocolate.
And she just like is giggly and fun and like sings songs to cartoons, and I feel like she just is so fun, and I didn't appreciate her. So that was interesting.
Oh, I never not liked her. I feel like I liked all of them because they're all
Different.
Yeah. Like if they were just the same or just really plain, I don't think I would have liked them. But I felt like they all, like, you knew who each one was.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, and they never like changed their personalities.
No, they didn't, which was fun because even though they like made fun of each other, they were like, yeah, but this is who I am, so like get over it.
Right.
But I think Marty Maraschino, like the cherry, could have used a little direction because Vince Fontaine, as she admitted, pretty much tried to roofie her. Yeah.
He was so creepy and grabby. I was like, no, Marty.
Like on TV.
I know. And there's like other adults around and no one wanted to help. So that's another problem. I want to be like, Marty, you have like 80 boyfriends. I'm sure one of them is better than Vince Fontaine. So just go write a letter, you know? Don't make any rash decisions with creepy older men who are creepy.
He's so creepy.
Yep.
And then she mentions it later. I'm like, but you were like into it. You know, like I'm confused. Like she was like, I caught Vince Fontaine putting aspirin in my Coke. And I'm like, yeah. But why were you like hanging around him? Like that was what I thought was really like weird for her character, because I always felt like she wanted the guys to come to her. I don't know. I thought it was like the guys always came after her and then she'd all these like guys interested. But the way that was set up was like she followed Vince Fontaine around.
I mean, a little. I felt like he was following her around once they met.
Okay.
Because he would be like looking for her and then he would like try to like dance with her and I was like, gross. Wait, we skipped like some scenes though.
Oh, which one?
We skipped Beauty School Dropout.
Oh, yeah.
We skipped all the diner scene. Well, we kind of talked about the diner scenes, but Beauty School Dropout. There's some funny lines in there.
All right, let's go. Let's hear them.
Well, he mentions how Frenchie apparently got a nose job. I
missed that.
Well, he was like, oh, if you had all that money to fix your nose up. I don't remember what it rhymes with. And he said it like it was past tense, like it already happened. And I was like, that what?
Frenchie.
People are getting their nose done in the 50s? Dang, that's crazy. And then he talks about how nobody would go to her as a beautician unless they were a hooker. Which I was like, I think hookers probably a better taste. And
yeah.
They care about their appearance, so I'm not sure I agree with that. And yeah, and then there is... Oh, I'm looking at my notes. There was a Bob scene for me coming up.
Which one?
Wait, did you have any Bob scenes?
Yes, I have one.
What was it?
During the Grease Lightning number, so we could wait for it.
So my Bob scene was right after Beauty School Dropout ends. The next scene you see is we're in the car shop, and it's the three guys and Kaneki, and they're working on Grease Lightning, and it's literally just you see the three guys put on a bumper, and it lasts for like 7 seconds, and then it switches. And that was it.
What do you mean switches?
Then it's like the scene's over and nobody learns anything and nobody has a conversation. And I was like, wait, why was that in there? I don't understand. Like editing 101, you cut out unnecessary stuff. Why was that there? I don't get it.
Exactly.
It had no purpose.
Katie cuts out about 300% of this podcast. Okay?
I really do. Like for me, I was like, 50s Bob, come on. I mean, you just wanted to see the men working on their car? That's stupid. Weird. I get it. They work on the car. It's dumb.
I have to go back and watch that. I missed that.
It's stupid. You don't remember it because it was dumb. And you probably like blinked your eyeball and then it was over.
The Bob scene that made me laugh out loud was Danny is singing Grease Lightning. Yeah. They're going all around the car. They're going crazy. And at one scene, it like hypes up the music and there's a pause and he turns around and so like his back is towards the camera. He puts his arms up YMCA style and then just flicks his wrists and points his hands down so he looks like he's got this like little M shape and just swivels his hip to like the right. I can't tell you, the Hairspray vibes of John Travolta were so intense, and because he was playing this like cool Danny Zuko guy, I felt like it was so off character. I was like, what's happening right now?
You're like, are you practicing for your role in Hairspray? Your monumental, groundbreaking role of the beautiful movie?
If you go back and watch it, you're like, huh? It's so weird.
So much the dancing. I was like, this is like it was the time period, so fine. But like, I stand by what I said. Kanicki's dancing was just him having a spaz attack in place most times with minimal distance movement. He would just be in like a stationary position, like laying down, moving quickly, or like standing, jumping up and down, or like sitting and like his arms are just like going like this, or he's just like, he's getting electrocuted.
He personified a shake weight.
Yeah, that's literally what he was. But now knowing that he may or may not have also been on drugs makes me sad now.
Well, he just started them, so I don't know if this movie was like, he's in prime addiction, but this movie triggered the addiction, which is terrible. And yeah, his celebrity rehab, I was like, oh, Kanicki.
I remember watching that.
I know, it was kind of sad. Okay, so I think the other thing about this movie that I didn't remember until watching it was it is pretty quick. It's like you go from this scene to that scene, and somehow you're like vicariously in high school, so you're kind of following it. But we literally never go to class.
No.
Or care about class or see teachers, and if we do, we're in the hallway.
Right. Or like you see them at the dance. And I also didn't know when in the school year is this dance happening, because it's like they announced it the first day of school and I was like, whoa, we're excited. And then when you like literally go through the days, it feels like everything happens in like 3 days. And then it's like, wait a second, that doesn't seem correct. I don't know. Because somehow in this movie, we go through an entire school year. It's really quite magical.
And the only change we see is like, oh, okay, I guess Frenchie drops out of high school, goes to beauty school, and then drops out of beauty school. So does that help us understand time? Because I'm with you. It was like 3 days, the whole movie.
Right. And then Danny, like, we see him, like, kind of join track, but then I thought he, like, stopped doing that because then him and Sandy talked. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, I lettered in track. I was like, what, do you have to run, like, 1 mile and you get a letter? What is this crazy school? What's happening? This is wild.
Okay. I have to say, the sports montage of John Travolta was amazing.
Just him continuously, like, threatening to beat
punching
up
people.
different people, yeah.
But kind of like the Notre Dame fight logo, where he just always, like, has this, like, this punch that's coming from, like, an uppercut punch, and you're like, Danny, what?
He needed some tips from, Rocky or Mickey.
Oh my god, I want someone to edit Mickey being like, hey, Danny, that's not the way you punch him.
Danny, use this shoestring so you know how to stand.
Use your dancing hips to get the power.
Yes, I feel like Danny would just punch Mickey because we all wanted to punch Mickey.
We all did.
Okay, so yeah, that was confusing. But the dance, I will say I do like the dance.
The dance is fun.
It's fun. And like, it's, period dancing.
In our generation, and even after us, we don't know choreographed dancing.
No. Unless it's like, was it the cha-cha slide? Does that count?
Yes, or like
the Cotton Eye Joe.
Literally all we know
Macarena
is like 3-second TikTok videos that can never last a whole song. So it's just like a bunch of people doing like one piece of a song.
Yeah.
And that was what was fun about watching this, is everyone kind of knew what to do.
There were scenes where, like, when Cha-Cha kind of like somehow gets Sandy away from Danny.
Well, it's Putsy. Putsy did it.
I don't know who did it. And then they show the camera on this weird guy that we've never seen before who makes a creepy face, and I hated it. That might have been a second Bob scene.
That was my backup Bob scene.
Yeah.
It looked like he had been
drooling.
playing the tuba for like 4 hours because his lips were like bright red.
It was very sweaty, very drooly. Didn't know who he was. I hated it.
Okay, obviously people are at the dance and they're dancing, that's why they're sweaty. But I did read a fun fact that it was like 115 degrees in that gym and a bunch of people like passed out. So people were like actually really, really hot. Anyways, continue.
Well, that's horrible. But like when Cha-Cha takes over and then like you're like, okay, what are you gonna do? You guys like didn't practice anything and they just magically both do the same dance, magically magic. It was so magic. But also part of me was like, maybe I could believe it. Like maybe this is something I just don't know that you guys know that something.
She had the coolest skirt for that.
Her dance move was to hold her skirt like at like her boob level, and then her one leg would have to be like bent in the air as she spun. Like that's like all she did the whole time. Yeah, so a lot of humping dancing. I gotta say, some of these moves, not the humping ones, but some of these moves, you know, I like to bust out myself. For example, when Danny and Sandy kind of jump in and they come into the circle and they do the little finger guns.
Ooh.
I bust those out. And they're just like...
It's a finger gun skip. But you go left finger guns, right finger guns. Everybody pick up your finger guns and left 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3, left 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, usually it's just me doing those. So if anyone wants to join in, feel free. You're always welcome.
How about the cool guy that knee slided into the scene? I was like, oh, we all want to be that guy.
Yeah, there was a lot. I liked how it was a montage of like just random people too. They did a good job of showing like the main characters, but then they would show just random people. And it was all different types of dance. Like I don't even think I saw the same type of dance repeated throughout all of this, which was cool.
And there was a lot of like dirty dancing lifts.
There were. And they would be like lift in the air and then I'm gonna like swing you through my legs. You had arm strength for that.
If there was like Grease on Ice, that would be the scene to go watch Grease on Ice.
No, because those girls would get lifted and then when they swung through the legs, they would fly across the ice. No, that would be dangerous. Just a lot of, I don't ever want to lay on a gym floor. Ugh. Not even for a dance move. Something's going to get stuck in my hair. So that's just a big old no.
Do you love that the 3 Duty, Putz, and whatever the guy's name is? Putsy.
And Sunny. Sunny should have had a more insulting name because his is not like an insult. And
that's true.
He was annoying. Sorry.
Okay. But as Blue Moon is singing and they go up and they moon the camera, I gotta tell you that for being these like tough guys that say like really inappropriate thing to teachers and all that really shook them up. And I kind of thought, really? Like you literally like scream profanities at teachers and do humping moves and then you like mooned people and like that's what got them. I thought that was weird.
Also, like if someone's mooning you, that means their pants are down at their ankles, which means they can't run away, which means you literally just walk up to them and find out who they are. So like, principal, what were you doing? You were just like really comfy in your chair at the moment. You didn't want to get up and go check. Like, I don't understand. Because then it's the next scene and she's like, you so-called mooners for sending your photos, sketches to the FBI. I was like, this is stupid. Could have solved this problem last night. I'm just saying.
Can you imagine the FBI like artist just being like, so it's a butt. Okay.
It was like my note, I wrote a note, I go, so you send butt photos to Washington, D.C.? Oh, dear.
Okay, and can we just admit that like a butt doesn't look like the moon?
No.
It should be like a peach, right? Or like,
look at
like
emoji.
You're peaching.
You're peaching. Oh, dear.
You just peached me.
Also, did you think of our other movie we did when you heard the song Blue Moon?
Blue Moon,
and then Babe is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If they had Babe on stage singing during that, I would have tolerated it a little more.
Stop. James Cromwell. Spotlight on him. He starts dancing. Danny Zuko leaves. Cha-Cha's gone.
Oh my god, he totally would have won the dance contest. No question about it. No question at all.
He kicks Vince Fontaine in the face. Marty's saved from getting date raped. It's so good.
Oh god. Why didn't that happen?
Oh my god. Okay. Then after the dance scene, they get the car set up and they get ready for the race. And no crap.
Then there's the drive-through.
Oh, the drive-through.
The drive-in.
The drive-through where Danny forces himself on Sandy.
Okay, so I didn't understand, like, what was happening. Because, like, she's annoyed with him, and he's like, I'm sorry. And then they're like, okay, fine. So then they're, like, just sitting there, and then he's like, oh, I'll give her my ring. And you're like, that's cool. So then he does that, and then she's happy, but then he, like, is annoyed, and then tries to, like, make out with her.
It was weird.
And also, he elbows her in the boob, and I wrote, boob grace. Boob grace. Just did boob grace. So if Jack Black was in that drive-in, he would have said that as he walked by.
Definitely said
Boob
that.
grace. Boob grace. That was Sandy. Sandy, that was boob grace. Boob grace. Okay.
Well, and that's when Rizzo's rumor about her being pregnant.
Oh my god.
Everyone talks about it.
It is funny how they filmed that, where it's like Marty finds Rizzo. Rizzo goes, I feel like a defected typewriter. And she goes, what do you mean? She's like, I skipped a period. I'm like, oh, that's a very convoluted way. And then Marty goes, you think you're PG?
Oh, I know. I was like, what is this? I don't know these things.
You think you're parental guidance? Grease? Because you're not. We're using you to educate children in sex ed class. You should be PG-13 minimum. Okay. Yeah, and then it just, like, gets around very quickly, and it's very funny. But, you know, she's mean to Kanicki.
Yeah, she's kind of, oh, I thought that was kind of mean.
She lies to him. She's like, why do you think it's yours or something? And I'm like, ooh, it's not nice. Now he's sad.
Well, he was trying to be, like, sweet to her. I thought she was rude.
Yeah. And even when they were, like, hooking up, I don't know, it was very consensual, you know, because he was like, do you want to? Like, are you okay? And then, like, he was like, I have one. Why did he get a condom that he had from 7th grade only? Does that mean
that she was his first?
I wondered. I was like, Knick.
Aww.
What's up?
Yeah.
Why don't you have other condoms?
I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to work all summer for that car. He didn't have time for messing around with ladies.
Well, and here we are again at sex ed class, children, because if you are, you know, ever considering, you know, doing that, you need to be prepared. Boy or girl, you better be prepared. So don't have condom in your wallet from 7th grade. Okay.
Yeah, I will tell you, that's the thing. It's always like the guy has to have the condom, okay?
No.
We both can. We both can.
Yes. Both should be prepared. They teach that on Degrassi. Take a sip. Okay.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that's all I'll say about that.
Oh my God, does Degrassi do a Grease episode?
You know what? I don't think they have yet. But there's always time.
I love that you said yet.
It's just never ending.
You call up your Degrassi executives, you're like, listen up, we found the loophole. It's Grease. Put it in.
I mean...
Okay, so...
Then after that is the drag race.
Okay, then we go to the drag race. But the movie theater is like, I have to say this back and forth, like, Sandy, Danny love each other. Oh, they hate each other. Oh, they love each other. Oh, they hate each other. And then the whole time Rizzo's like, who am I sleeping with? Oh, I might be pregnant. It's like, there's a lot of like, wait, what low am I following? Like, I don't know. And then Kanicki's whole thing of like, I'm gonna race this guy because he messed up my car and I don't like him. And I'm just like trying to follow as a group the goal of the movie. You know what I mean? Like there's so many moving storylines. I'm like, okay, what's happening?
And also the fact that like, so Kanicki and the Scorpion guy somehow like switched dates? But like they didn't plan that? It just was like happenstance? And... why? I didn't get that.
I didn't get that at all.
It was weird. That was weird. And then it's like, oh, JK, Cha-Cha's back with Scorpion Man. And I was like, wait, but like, Cha-Cha, what's up? What's going on? You want to talk about it?
I mean, maybe she thinks in the next dance competition, Kanicki can't get her the win.
She's like, Kanicki, you can't just lay on the floor and act like you're getting electrocuted. You have to dance with me. God. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But it was weird. It was a weird, like, rivalry because, like, they were rude to each other, but, like, that Scorpion guy was rude to everyone.
And he looked like he was, like, 55.
Yes, he did. He was very scary.
Yeah. And how about that race with the knives that come out of the Batmobile, or?
Okay, again, yeah, I was like, all right, Batman, take a chill pill. Okay. Yeah, that was a little scary. Also reminded me of Mad Max. And I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this crazy world we live in? And then the way he wins the race is he goes off a 1 foot high ramp and somehow that propels him to like land in front of the other car, and then he wins. I was like, right. Fast and Furious movies are laughing in your face right now because that's absurd. Holy moly.
It totally was. It was like the smallest jump ever.
And they were like, we won! I was like, what the hell is this crazy town? And then what? They win that guy's car? I don't want that car. That car probably murdered someone and has blood on the tires. No, thank you.
I think he's right. I think he wanted to get rid of the evidence. The FBI has butts, and now they have fingerprints from that car. He had to leave.
Yo, that makes sense. Now I get it. Now I get it. And he wanted to date Rizzo at the dance so that he could blame it and frame Kaneki. And oh my god.
Oh, that's a cool side movie.
It's all coming together. Okay.
Crater
We'll work on that
face.
script. Yeah.
Scorpion kills.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So then I'll be honest, my notes are like all over the place right now. So then
then it's like the last day of school.
Then they're at the last day of school, which is a school year is 4 days, as we have learned.
Yeah, we all made it. We all did it. We're all here today.
Dave Hugo got a letter in track.
In 1 hour, he did it. He really endured. It was very difficult.
I love that he like chain smokes cigarettes, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I can run. I've never run before, and I won't ever be tired." And you're like, "You should be like definitely tired. All you do
And he
is
was
smoke
like
cigarettes."
hurtling. I'm like, I don't think people can just like pick that up like that. I think that's like hard to do. So Danny gets letter and track. Some of the other guys are like, I failed gym. And then the one guy goes, how do you fail gym? And then I wrote, yeah. Are you gonna answer that? and nobody answers it. So I'm like, okay. So I don't know. They just it's what it is. Somehow they failed. And then you see everyone, and everyone's like, wow, everything's great. Oh, and then Kaneki yells at Rizzo, and he goes, Rizzo, get down from there with your condition. And I was like, pregnant ladies can't go on Ferris wheels, Kaneki. I don't think that's how pregnancy works. So
I just saw Kaneki as like a loving, supportive baby daddy.
Okay, don't tell me what to do, all right? I'm gonna go on the Ferris wheel if I want. All right, that's all I'm saying. Well, and then you find out, oh my gosh, she's not pregnant. What a day.
What a day. Meanwhile, in the background, Sandy is getting sewn into those pants. Because, my God.
Yeah. They were...
Those pants were literally like when skinny jeans got popular and everyone's like, let's try it. And then we all died.
And then nobody sat down for years. Years and years. We all just stood and, yep.
Okay, what is the message? Don't be yourself for the love of your life. Like, it's so confusing.
It's dumb. It's not good.
No, it's not good.
Because he did like her for herself, so why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You're doing a lot of blinks.
I don't get it. And like Danny also like kind of changed, but like I don't know if committing to track for an hour counts as like changing
that
as
is
much as
not the same. That is so not the same. But yeah, I don't know. Out of all the songs, what's your favorite song?
I do like that one.
The final one, right?
Well, no, I like the You better shape up.
Oh, is that the final one?
I need a man. Then the final one is We'll always
be together.
They're like pretty like one on top of the other, but yeah, I like Better shape up. Boop, boop, boop.
Cause I need a man.
Do, do, do.
And my heart is set on you. Yeah, we know. You love him, you hate him, you love him. We get it, Sandy.
It's confusing, but she had cool shoes.
Those were really, really cool.
So maybe that's really why we dressed like that. I mean, let's be honest.
Keep the shoes.
All for the shoes.
Definitely change the pants. They look painful.
I mean, get pants with buttons at least. Come on. What's your favorite song?
I thought they were together, but you're right. It's the ending one. Like, you're just so excited and happy, and I don't know, it just comes on.
The one where it's like, yep, that's a good one. I'm gonna use those lyrics in my yearbook quote. So. Actually, that would be a really funny yearbook quote. Someone just wrote out all the gibberish. Yeah.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
probably been done before, but
Oh god, I
yep.
love it
And
so
then,
hard.
again, they fly off. I wrote into space. I go, Danny and Sandy drive off into space.
It's weird, right? That's kind of a weird ending.
Yeah.
It's super weird. But when I read the conspiracy theory that Sandy was dead the whole movie, I thought, cool.
Cool. Checks out. Checks out. I mean, yeah, there's definitely problematic themes, which you
Yeah.
can attribute to the time period. And I think for the most part, everyone kind of knows, like, they're not the best messages.
Yeah.
Again, sex ed teachers, I'm just saying, you got prime material here. Who needs lesson plans when you have Grease? Am I right?
True.
Okay.
True. And when things get awkward, you just wait for the song to come on.
Yeah, and then you all sing along because everyone knows the lyrics because they're fun songs.
Yeah, I think the Grease sex ed would be way better. Like, I think you're onto something.
And then secretly, the health teacher could also be like, okay, guys, we're also going to learn the hand jive. And then we're going to perform a musical rendition of it at the talent show at Girl Scout Camp. So there's just a lot of directions we could go. I'm just saying.
I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I have a new appreciation for Jan, who I didn't, who I thought was annoying, but not as much now. I have more empathy for Kanicki. I think he had a little bit of a tough rap. He's not so bad.
He's not so bad.
Yeah, and just, I didn't realize how much Sandy and Danny are just the on again, off again crew. But, I mean, this is a good movie to watch all the time. It's just very, every year it's gonna get worse and worse with, the rapey, sexual, homophobic. They have that one line where they're like, only men and women can dance.
Oh, I know.
And you're like, ew.
Yeah, lame.
But they use all these weird analogies in their own language that it's not, I don't know, it's not crazy offensive you want to turn it off. But I just feel like it's not going to age well as time goes on. It's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just got to accept it as a product of the times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe just ignore some of that stuff to enjoy the songs.
Yeah.
Except when the songs also have those lines in there too. But
just ignore them. Just sing it catchy. La la.
Just skip to the last song where it's just gibberish, and then you'll be good. Can't get offended with that, you know?
What if they were this close to a PG-13 rating, and then they had to change all the lyrics, and they're like
That sounds like something I would do, which means it's genius. So I hope that's what happened.
I'm really, really, really excited, but I know we might have more to talk about. But for a dad quote, I'm really excited.
Oh no,
are we
we're
ready?
Gonna get a dad quote. We're doing this live.
Okay,
this is Grease Live.
Grease Live. What did you call earlier? What did you call he's gonna say?
He's gonna ask us the question about what is Rizzo's first name.
Okay.
And then he's probably gonna say some other stuff.
Okay. We were wrong with Mom in the last one.
I know. Well, we have to give her context clues.
We definitely led her, so we'll just see if we're right or wrong, and we won't lead him.
Okay, let's do it. Hello.
What's going on?
Can we take over? Can you hear?
Hey.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Alrighty. What's up?
You're gonna really like our movie.
Yeah.
We did Grease.
Ah. What do you want me to say?
What do you think of it?
It's one of my favorite movies when I was growing up.
Growing up, do you still like it?
Sure.
Okay.
I was a teenager and into my early 20s. I think I went to the movies and seen it about 10 times.
Wow.
That's cool. Do you have any fun facts or?
Yeah, I used to like Rizzo.
Okay, she's pretty cool.
My favorite song was There Are Worse Things I Can Do.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
That's interesting. I mean, she's a good singer.
Stockard Channing, I believe it was.
That's the actress?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
In the movie, right?
Yep.
The original movie. We're not talking the play or anything. Yeah.
Yep.
And Travolta and
Yeah.
I used to know the license plate on Grease Lightning, but I forgot it now.
Oh my god, I don't even know what it is.
I don't either.
But I'll give you. We went to a play in New York. And we went to that restaurant or wherever where those people who want to be actors.
Starlight Diner.
The diner,
Yeah.
And the lady said to me, "Oh yeah, we do. Oh, I know everything about Grease." So I said, "You do, huh?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what. what is Rizzo's first name?
Do you want me to answer or?
Why, do you know it?
Yes.
Because you were there with us?
No, because you always bring this up.
Okay.
Dad.
Well, she didn't know it.
And what is it, Dad?
It's Betty.
It's Betty.
It is Betty.
Dad?
So I made her sing There Are Worse Things You Can Do for us at the table.
Well, I hope she knew all the words.
Oh
She doesn't
my
know Rizzo's
God.
first name.
That's
Dad.
the only time it's mentioned in that movie. And it's in the back seat of the car
Yes.
with
Kaneki.
Kaneki. The hickey for Kaneki is like a Hallmark car.
Yes.
Wow, Dad.
If I sit here, I could keep remembering a lot of lines, but
Oh, I love it. Okay.
I always remember how much you love Rizzo, and I think you introduced me to this movie as well as a lot of movies, but you were really into this movie, I remember.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's great.
I loved it.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you, Dad.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you, bye.
Hey, I didn't even get a heads up on that one.
No, I wanted to surprise you because I knew you'd be ready. And you were.
Wow. Man, it's like we couldn't even have planned that better.
Could have bet money on that.
I mean, I think we did. The problem is we just don't pay ourselves.
Yeah. Well, this was our second movie in our randomly decided musical march, which we did not make up, but, we're doing it. So, Bridget, I believe it's your turn to pick.
Yeah, I'm forced to pick a musical.
You are.
I was prepared for another movie.
Too bad.
I'm kind of on the fence about two.
Okay.
And I'm not sure which way to go. Okay. So, the years will give you the difference.
Okay.
Okay, so one isn't as nostalgic. Okay, one is from 2006 and one is from 1984. Which one do you want?
Oh. Okay, that's very different. I think I want 84.
Ooh! Okay.
Okay.
So, 1984. Wait for the Google to scroll down.
Okay.
This is a musical drama. Now, there was some recent...
Is that it? It's just a musical drama? That's all? There's nothing else?
That's it! So, figure it out. Okay. No, this is a movie... What did we talk about last movie? Where we talked about 6 Degrees. Who were we talking about with 6 Degrees?
Shoot, I don't remember.
It was like 6 Degrees of John Travolta or something. I don't know. But the 6 Degrees came from the one and only...
Tom Hanks?
No.
Oh. Sorry. There's a lot of one and onlys.
The 6 Degrees. 6 Degrees of...
Kevin Bacon. Oh.
1984 movie musical. What are we doing, Kate?
Is it Footloose?
Footloose. Pick up your Sunday shoes. Ooh. This is a song that I did some middle school project to, danced with my flute, tripped, and put the flute through the wall and made a giant hole in our Johnny Courthouse. And I'll always associate the song to me tripping and doing that.
What even?
We're gonna be fun and free and dancing and listen. They could try to ban dancing, but John Lithgow, I'll tell you, he's got something coming for him, and we're gonna be footloosing.
Well, I will tell you, I also did a dance to this song, but it was in college because I took a cardio dance mix class for like 1 credit, and I had to buy dance shoes, and we learned a song to this song, and it involved slapping your thighs, like jump, slap, jump, slap, jump, slap. I'll show you that part. That's the only part I remember.
Oh my god, I need to learn the dance.
Well, that's all I remember, and it's a long song, so we'll have to fill in the gaps.
I need it so hard.
I honestly don't remember much of the movie. I remember the plot.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you the last time I watched it.
I cannot think of the best friend's name right now, but he does the funniest dance moves ever, and I cannot wait for you to see, because we've kind of had like Spidey Sense ESP with some of our like movie things and predicting things, and I'm really, really, really intrigued for you to see this like one move, and I'm gonna hope that you remember it.
If it's finger guns, I'm in. I'm always down for those bad boys.
Okay, we'll always be together. I don't know if you could see this, listeners, but I'm Kaniki dancing right
just
now.
Shaking in place. Yep. Well, same to you, Bridge. So, for all you know, in my gibberish, that's what I actually said anyway. So,
I love you.
Well, and listeners, if you also love gibberish and dancing and finger gun, especially dancing, you should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts. And we also have a website. So this movie, Grease, was picked by one of my actually, she might be my longest friend, Christine. I think we met in first grade, and she is one of my best friends. But she picked this movie, and she did so by going to our website. You go to our website, sisterswhoseenit.com. The front page, you can scroll down and actually request a movie for us to do. So get on there.
Yeah, and thank you, Christine. You're the best.
Yes.
You're the best.
Christine, thank you for dancing like Danny Zuko with me at Girl Scout camp in the middle of the woods. God help us. Did we get a ribbon? Did we get a badge? I don't think so. I don't think we got anything. Just memories. So here we are. Years later, we have it in our hearts forever.
Oh my God.
All right, listeners. Well, we'll see you all next week.
We love you like Kaniki likes hickeys.
Yes, because they're like Hallmark cards or something. Just, rocking and rolling. All right, we'll see y'all next week for Footloose. That's all I remember from the movie.
Jeez,
Couldn't tell you a line. The movie, just a song. So I'll have more movie lines next time, I swear.
We'll teach Katie what 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon came from. Stay tuned. We love you.
Right. Love you. I love you.
I love you, and I love... You know what? We love you like Dad loves Rizzo.
which is a lot. So.
He loves him so much.
So much.
Okay, bye-bye. I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.